Hacker Stories.
It is time for Hacker Stories, where we celebrate, or at least bring to light, the actions of some of the true heroes in our society today, those being hackers, be they gray hat, black hat, or white hat. And this story is very interesting. It's from RT. And what the story is anonymous hackers release video of football stars bragging about rape. Oh my, what's this? And this raises some interesting questions, too. Discussion has been rekindled regarding the August 2012 rape and kidnapping of a teenage girl in Ohio, after members of Anonymous have published a video showing a witness making light of the crime on film only moments after. Okay, so a girl was raped in August of 2012 in Ohio, and Anonymous somehow, we'll read in the article, got video and published the video of, someone that saw the rape happening, and he's cracking jokes. The clip released this week by an anonymous cell calling itself NightSec is the word sec. If you don't know, SEC, when you'll hear that a lot, like lulsec, it means security. It's just short for security. Just so you know, what does sec mean? Anyway, calling itself NightSec is reported to show former Steubenville, Ohio high school athlete Michael Colin Nodianos bragging about the sexual assault from a friend's apartment. For 12 minutes, Nodianos laughs about a young woman who was reportedly drugged and raped at a party earlier in the evening in the small Ohio town. So this is from the day that it occurred, apparently. She is so raped, he says. Her puss is about as dry as the sun right now. She's deader than a doornail and deader than OJ's wife, he's recorded saying. Okay, it's all in the video. It's all recorded. Again, the link to this article will be in the show notes at soundcloud.com/SovrynTech or at SovrynTech.tumblr.com. Shortly after the incident, authorities arrested two members of the Steubenville High School Big Red football team, Trent Mays and Malik Richmond, but questions have continued to amount in the months since. Of particular concern, especially to Anonymous, the hacker group, is the lack of legal action taken against partygoers who witnesses the rape, videotaped it, and shared images and tweets over social media, including Nodianos. Messages sent over his Twitter account have since been archived to show him mocking the 16-year-old rape victim. Song of the Night is definitely Rape Me by Nirvana, reads one of a few off-color messages sent from Nodianos' alleged Twitter account after the incident. Members of NightSec have since attempted to expose members of Big Red with links to the involvement, and have uncovered a smoking gun with the publishing of the video showing Nodianos making light of the assault. As their independent investigation widens, though, the hacktivists say they've uncovered something bigger than just one isolated assault. This is in quotes. The victim had been intentionally drugged with a date rape intoxicant. She was photographed and video was taken of her in this condition, and there is evidence that she was hauled in a comatose state to multiple parties and almost certainly raped by more members of the local high school football team than just the two players who currently stand charged, reads a post on Local Leaks, which is a hacker site. Despite all this, it looked as though a town rife with corruption, cronyism, illegal gambling, and fixated upon their star high school football team, a major economic revenue engine, were prepared to orchestrate a major cover-up in order to sweep the entire affair under the rug. As this disclosure will document, this cover-up was perpetrated by people in the high school administration, local government, and law enforcement. In the months since the assault, the Big Red community has, that's referring to the team, has responding by rejecting allegations made by the media, NightSec, Anonymous, and others. Jim Parks, a supporter of the Steubenville High School sports, has condemned NightSec after they compromised his Roll Red Roll fan site, which is about the Big Red team. The outrageous claims, quote-unquote, that they made while controlling this site were totally false, completely absurd, and totally unfounded. They were clearly both libelous and slanderous and were not even intended to reveal truth, but rather simply to get media attention and terrorize the Steubenville community. Innocent people have been greatly harmed, he writes, but not before deeming NightSec terrorists and calling out the New York Times for deciding to aid and abet Anonymous by following through with an investigation into the rape of a 16-year-old girl. We wish to make it clear that we will pursue legal justice against the perpetrators of these evil acts and all of those in the media who chose to help them. Parks writes to the hackers. So that's Jim Parks saying that to the hackers. We're going to get them. Wait, did the members of NightSec rape the girl? No. Okay, we'll finish up with the article here. With the publishing of the Nodianos film, though, he might have his hands full. In the 2 days after it was first released, the video has already gone viral. Steubenville Police Chief William McCafferty tells CBS affiliate WTRF-TV that the video has been turned over to the prosecutors, in this case, the Ohio Attorney General Office. Now, I don't know what's come of this. This article is from January 2013. So it's pretty recent. So maybe not enough action has been taken yet. But wow. 16-year-old girl getting raped by a football team. I mean, that's shocking in itself. And, you can say, well, they were drunk, they were this, whatever. But then here comes the hackers looking into it, finding out what the heck is going on. What is this? And they find there's videos posted. Now I'm guessing these videos were all posted to like this Roll Red Roll, like fan site, to where that was, some of that was kind of available there, or at least, in the Twitter stuff. So they hacked into all these accounts to get all this information. And now that's where things can get sticky in that, okay, did NightSec, did Anonymous, did they break privacy? Did they invade someone's privacy? And it's tough for me to say, because when you've got, clearly this was all like RT is saying, that Anonymous is claiming that this was being covered up by the local government in Steubenville, Ohio, by the high school itself. Is this breaking privacy? What this girl, this 16-year-old girl who was apparently drugged, she had no consent, no control over what was going on. Let's go with this analogy. What if there was a friend of hers there? And by the way, I think it's very tasteful of RT not to mention the girl's name. Anyway, what if a good friend of hers was there and recorded everything that was going on, and that was given to the police? Would anyone have a problem with that? No, I don't think so. So my opinion on this is that Anonymous acted as a good friend. Might they have done this to get their name up in lights and to show just how, good they are at what they do? Sure. Okay. I don't object to the ability, or to the fact that may be part of the reasoning. But anyway, I think Anonymous, just imagine them being that friend who said, no, I'll find out who did this to you. Or someone's got to know, or, something along those lines. It was her defense. And they did it through, and here's the thing. If this guy, Nodianos, was wanting privacy, maybe he shouldn't have posted the stuff on Twitter. Really. I don't think there's a break of any kind of privacy, privacy rights here. I think this is amazing. I think this girl has no one on her side. Clearly, the entire town is trying to dust this under the rug. And yet here comes people of some moral standing, people who want accountability. That's what Anonymous is all about. They want accountability. And I'm hoping, I may update it, as more information about this case comes out, I may update on it in future episodes of SovrynTech. Or maybe I'll post something on the Facebook page or the SovrynTech Balnea on Google Plus. But this is really, really, really something. To say that we live in the world where this sort of thing is possible, where this kind of openness is possible. And that's one of the wonderful things about technology, is that I think, you can choose not to use it for your anonymity, or you can choose it. And then there's like this kind of like this open, this is what I'm doing, and you know what I mean? And I have nothing to hide. There's so many ways to go about it with technology, so much. And that's great. But I think this is absolutely heroic of Anonymous to do. What got them involved in it, I do not know. What exactly were they thinking? Okay, why do we want to look into this more? I'm not really sure. Maybe a member of Anonymous is a friend of this young girl, 16 years old, getting raped. And, said to his buddies, IM'd them and said, hey, this happened. We need to find out what the heck just happened. And, and then they did. They got video. And that's the thing, like this guy, and it's so depressing because Jim Parks, according to the article, a major supporter of Steubenville High School sports, he's there. He's like, oh, he called Anonymous the terrorists, not the guys who raped the 16-year-old girl. He calls them the terrorists. What? And then he says, like, oh, it's all libel, it's slanderous, none of it's true. And then what does NightSec do? What does Anonymous do? They post the video and said, go ahead, tell me that now. Tell me that I'm lying. And it's not, because you can see the video. Nodianos is making an absolute joke out of the fact that this girl is drugged and getting raped, and who knows what else went on. Anonymous is the one doing the actual investigative journalism. Apparently, the CBS in the town isn't. They're probably just, in with the local town saying, okay, we got this great football team. We got to hide this stuff. And, you get these stories a lot. Maybe that's part of what Anonymous was part of their thing, was that you get this a lot where, like, these sports guys or these sports teams are, bigger than the law. They're so important to the economy, and they're so important to, like, the spirit of the town or of a state or of a country or something, that they can kind of get away with proverbial murder, or in this case, literal rape. Maybe Anonymous is like, yeah, you know what? We're going to show the ugly side of all this, of this kind of this tribalism, this communal thinking, whatever. And I think they did, and I think they did a pretty amazing job. I'm not going to claim to know how they pulled all this off. And again, I understand where some people are like, well, this is scary, because then that means Anonymous could, like, look at, hack into my phone or something, and look at whatever, maybe some videos of an orgy that I just had, and they could see that. While that's certainly possible, keep that in mind when you record these things. If you want some privacy with, this is the world we live in. I wish there was privacy. I really do. I wish that we could just flick switches on all our devices that say, okay, I never want this to go anywhere other than in my eyes. I really, really do. But that's not the world we live in. And so unfortunately, we have to be responsible with the idea that I claimed earlier in the show. It's an old hacker rule that what you're doing is being watched. Okay, so, in this case, if you wanted to do a video recording, maybe you should get, a nice high-end camera that doesn't connect to anything, and uses like an SD card or something, or has an internal hard drive that you can genuinely control whether or not it can get hacked, hacked into, or that it goes online or something. So maybe that's something to consider. Okay, but I don't feel that any privacy rights were invaded here, because again, there's recordings of this being, the video wasn't taken by Anonymous. The video was taken by the guy there who wanted to record it happening. That's sick in itself. Okay. But then also these people were sending out tweets saying, oh yeah, this girl's getting raped. This is great. If you're putting it up on Twitter, what kind of, oh, well, there's only certain people I want to see. Come on. Your expectation of privacy should be gone by that point. So, but the really, here's something I'd like to see. Maybe CBS, maybe some of these news outlets, maybe they already have, but maybe they should start hiring hackers to do some real journalism. Or maybe the police, instead of going after hackers and locking them up, should be hiring them. Not that I like police, or like the idea of the police, I should say. I think there's police officers that are just, nice people, but I'm just saying that, anyway, maybe these institutions should be hiring hackers to do some actual detective work. Because I wonder, if Anonymous can do this with a rape case, what could they do with a murder case? Yeah, I don't know, I mean, and granted, I'm totally open, and maybe this is controversial as far as privacy rights go, but yeah, I mean, I can't help but call them heroes for doing this. Because clearly, and there's other stories that you can read up about this that they link to within this story, clearly it doesn't appear that anybody's out there fighting for the 16-year-old girl. No one's out there defending her. They just want this to go away. And if you want to, they're young, blame the alcohol, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, he was in the military. He was trained to kill, so he killed. That may not be a fair comparison, but you get my point. People are still responsible for their actions. I don't care, what they're doing, what they're taking. We talked earlier in the show how, there's soldiers who were given Dexedrine, I believe it was, and that, they felt weird. And, really... And the soldiers can say, I'm not going to take this stuff. No way. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to kill anymore. I did that. I said, as a soldier, I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay? So people are still responsible for their actions to some degree. We can't just like write everything off because of drugs or because of this or that. And I say good. I mean, if... You know what? If videotaping, yeah, I don't know. If you have feelings, different feelings than I do on this, email me at SovrynTech@hush.ai. You can talk about it in the SovrynTech Balnea on Google Plus, which is actually, there's some action happening there now. You can go to the Facebook page, the SovrynTech Facebook page. Or message me on the Tumblr page. There's a lot of ways to get in touch with the show. And, let me know what you think. Yeah, I mean, maybe, and you know what? If you change my mind about this being an attack on privacy rights, I'll mention it right up on the show. I won't just do it in the show notes. I'll do a full correction. I will always do a full correction. So please, I am always open. I, Brian Sovryn, albeit a genius, I am always open to being wrong about something or in missing facts. And so if you've got something, please don't hesitate to call me out on it. I am totally open to that. So here it is. Anonymous is doing detective work and journalism at the same time, and hopefully bringing some degree of justice to an absolute tragic incident that happened to a 16-year-old girl. And I congratulate them. I'll be back with more SovrynTech. This is Brian Sovryn.